Hello. Sorry I'm late. Hello, how's it going? Just getting my smudge. Hello, hello. Hi, Elaine. Good morning, darling. Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Katya. Good morning, darling. I should say good afternoon to you, actually. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Good morning, Bradley. Hope you guys slept well. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you. Hi, Lynn. Chantal's in the tub. All is well today. All is as it should be. Nice salty tub, hey? Nice one. Hi, Azriel. Hi, Michelle. Both Michelles are in the house. Hello, hello. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Cherise. Hi, Karen. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Amma. Nice to see you guys. How is everyone? Sorry, I'm fashionably late today. Well, technically, time doesn't exist, so are we ever truly late? Some days I'm punctual, some days I'm not. Today, it was due to the last-minute request for pancakes, thanks to a snow day for someone who is very happy that he gets to spend the morning in his bathrobe sitting on the couch on his tablet, little monkey. They actually canceled school last night. They told us that he wasn't going to school, and he was so happy. Yep, half a foot of snow in Baltimore already, huh? Yep, we're getting it good here today. Hi, Jordan. Nice to see you, love. How are you feeling? Michelle says, I slept horrible last night. I woke up and there was water all over my room, and there's no hole in my cup. So I was wondering what the hell is going on. My phone wasn't charged because there was water inside my phone. Like there was just a water explosion last night while I was sleeping, and I don't know where the water came from. I was like looking up at the roof. I'm like, no, the roof's not leaking. Is there a hole in my cup? No, I don't see a hole in my cup. I have no idea, but somehow the water teleported itself from inside the cup all over everything this morning. So it's been a weird few days. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. I miss school snow days. Little guy's going to be sledding for most of the day, I'm sure. Margarita says, good morning. What is happening with this energy? I slept all weekend. I definitely felt it this weekend too. This energies were kind of heavy in a way. But you know what's funny? I've been in a funk for weeks, and you know how like it's really weird. It's like when the energies got heavy, I did a switch where I feel fine now. The last few weeks, I don't know what it is. Like 2 weeks before Christmas, I've been in a funk ever since. And then I think it was doing that class with Katie, maybe. I was trying to think of what it was that was the catalyst in this change of mood that I've been in. But yeah, I'm feeling much better the last few days, and I'm feeling better as well. I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions about what Katie and I are up to, because I must laugh. There's a lot of you that did not bother to read what you were signing up for. You just signed up for it. You're like, oh, there's a class? Boom, done. And then you didn't realize that, yeah, that was actually for South Africans and Australians, which was actually my bad, because on Katie's post, it was very clear. And so I just shared it like, yay, here we go. And not realizing that it didn't carry over all of that other information when I shared it. So yes, that first link I shared was supposed to be for South Africans and Australians and people that are in the more earlier time zones, because Katie is going to be teaching that one. It's 5 a.m. my time. I'm not even getting up for that one. I don't know how anybody in America plans on getting up for the 5 a.m. course with Katie. So if you guys did end up booking for the one in July, It says 5 a.m. UK time, Sharice, does it? Okay. Well, you know what's funny? It's not 5 a.m. UK time. Katie is not getting up at 5 a.m. to teach that. I can guarantee you. So I think it's supposed to be 10 a.m. UK time, or sorry, 10 a.m. Yes, 10 a.m. UK time. And I think South Africa is 2 hours ahead of that. So it'll be noon South Africa time. So we have plenty of time before that. Obviously, that is in July. For those of you who are wondering what we're going to be up to, there will be a lot of information to cover. So our plan is that we're going to cover it in bits and pieces once a week for 3 hours, for one day a week, 3 hours. And then it should be about 24 hours worth of class by the time we're done. So if there's any questions about that, you guys can ask me here, or you can ask me on a star when we switch over. Either way. You guys are talking about forced hibernation. Hilarious. Yeah, I don't really tend to go out in this kind of weather either. So it's better to stay home where the roads are kind of like this anyway. For those of you who are in the Eastern Seaboard anyway, for those of you who are in California and others, you guys probably aren't dealing with what we're dealing with today. So anybody have anything they want to discuss from this weekend? Anybody's got going something on? My chair is being weird. It keeps making me shrink. If you guys have any questions about what we're going to be doing, feel free to ask. My sage is still going, so clearly need a bit of extra smudging this morning. Nice what Megan says. Good morning. I just hopped off the Great Energy 21-day Qigong. Nice. How is Christopher this morning? I heard and Daniela is under the weather, so let's send some love to Daniela. I hope she's feeling better now. Anybody else feeling a bit unwell this weekend? There's been a lot of headaches and stuff I've been seeing in the comments, so maybe it might have been because of the energies. Last few days have been a bit interesting with the energies. In fact, I'm going to check and see what happened yesterday. I don't think I checked yesterday. Let's see what's going on with these solar flares. Anything interesting? Oh, the Geomag is still going a little crazy. Geomag isn't as bad as it was. Oh, look at those flares, you guys. We're in the red. Let's see. Holy shit. So the KP index was high, but wow, look at that. Interesting. All kinds of interesting things going on right now. So when you see the solar proton flux going up, that means you guys, wow, look at all those spikes at the top as well. You guys, the sun is going crazy right now. Let's see what the Schumann's doing. Schumann's quiet right now, but yesterday it was going crazy. Look at that. Big spikes on the Schumann. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with these energies over the next few days, because I hear from a couple Arcturian channels that things are going to intensify a little bit. Now, Leanne says, I've been having headaches for several days. See, yeah, a lot of us are kind of noticing upset stomach as well, Deborah. Interesting. Karen's on day 12 of being sick. Interesting, Karen. Have you been having any? I would have some sea salt baths, and make sure that you're getting some vitamin C. Laura, I think you said you're going to have a mediumship training. Is this for already established mediums? I'm interested in new mediumship training. I can establish a link, but would like to take a class to learn more. We have a lovely person named Carly who's going to be assisting us. In fact, what's interesting about Carly is she's already been kind of chatting with Dr. Palmer. So I'm gonna see if Carly will join us on the podcast at some point soon. She's a lovely lady from the UK. And it's funny, she was going to retire. This was originally her plan. But then Dr. Palmer started coming in and he's like, no, you can't retire. We need you. So she's going to be assisting us with mediumship training. Katie and her both are going to be running a class on mediumship. So I'll invite her on the podcast next week and see if she's able to come and tell you a little bit about what she'll be offering. And she's like, she needs to increase her rates. She's only like charging £12 or something for a session. So she's She is extremely considerate with her rates right now, considering how much experience she has in mediumship. So there's going to be a whole bunch of wonderful teachers that I'm going to be bringing on the podcast soon. I'm just still in the middle of vetting people right now, because as you guys may have noticed, I'm trying to be really, really careful about who I bring on the podcast. I want to make sure they're legit first. So yes, this is what has been taking me a little bit longer to bring in new people for you guys, because yes, I want to make sure I'm not bringing in somebody who's not up to par, so to speak. So Raquel is here. Hi, sweetie. When the sun activity dropped recently, there were a few earthquakes, also some volcanoes becoming active that have been dormant. Things going off the hook. Yes, indeed. Things are going to get really interesting. Did you guys have any questions about anything? Anybody going through something they want to talk about today? Because I did not plan anything for today. I'm just kind of winging it like I normally do for these solo chats. So if there's anything that you guys want to discuss today or any questions that somebody wants to ask, feel free. Remember, there's one thing I wanted to say about Lynn's question about mediumship training. The best way to learn mediumship is to connect with your soul guides every day. You don't always need a mentor who can teach you tricks. I mean, yeah, obviously, sometimes it really helps. But when you have dedication to learning, when you are sincere about your drive to do this work, the guides see that and they can connect easier. It's almost like the more you set your intentions to be a medium, the more you open those doors yourself. So the best thing that you can do if you are a new medium, such as myself, I mean, we're all mediums technically, but not all of us have been developing their gifts. And many of us lock our gifts away in the closet and then only pull them out every once in a while and wonder why we're not very good at them. But it's like a violin or any other instrument. You have to obviously practice and you have to be dedicated to it. And you really have to, just be consistent. Consistency is the key to anything. As they say, it takes 10,000 hours to master anything? At least 10,000 hours. So if you think about it, I mean, if you really want to be a medium, you have to start putting the hours in. So every day, call in your guides. Ground yourself first, I should say. Ground yourself. Do your protection bubble. Call in your guides. Ask them to give you signs that they are connecting to you. You can say something like, "Hi, soul guides. I've been talking to Charlie." Charlie's a good example. The other day I was chatting with Katie and I was doing a clearing with her and I said something and Charlie, my guide, says to Katie, he goes, "Why is Lara not listening to me?" So Katie goes, "Lara, why are you not listening to Charlie?" And I was like, "Because I can't fucking hear you, Charlie." But then 10 minutes later, right, I heard something and I said it and she's like, "Charlie just said that. You did hear him." So I was like, oh. We're so often convinced that we're not mediums unless we're hearing some kind of third person voice in our head. But no, in most cases, most mediums do not hear any voices. They only have their own thoughts. It sounds like you are talking to yourself. But the best way for me to notice is that I don't talk to myself in the third person. So if somebody says something like, "Hey, Lara, why did you do that?" I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, that wasn't me. That's not me talking right now." So whenever somebody says something to me in the third person, then yeah. But I do. I'm exactly like that, Michelle. I gaslight myself all the time. I'm like, did I make that up? And it was funny. The other night I was in bed and I work with Leah, as many of you guys know Leah from Lost Soul Rescue. And Leah is on the West Coast. So sometimes I work with her. If you guys notice, you're getting some reports at like midnight, 1 a.m. That is because I was working with Leah, and Leah is often very busy until evenings. And so it was funny. The other day I'm in bed and I'm just kind of like hanging out, but I was wired. I had so much energy. And I was trying to make myself go, like kind of wind down for sleep. And I had this thought in my head, no, go get dressed. You're going to have to do clearings in a minute. And I was like, huh? I looked at the clock. It's after midnight. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do clearings right now. And then sure enough, not even 20 seconds later, I get a text from Leah going, "Are you still up?" I was like, oh shit. Like, oh my God, really? They gave me a warning. It was about 30, 40 seconds before she messaged me saying, go on, get up. You got clearings to do. So I heard that. Even though I thought it was me and I even argued with it. I was like, what? No. Why would I get up right now and get dressed? Are you kidding? No. And then sure enough. So we doubt ourselves all the time. We can hear. All of us are mediums, and probably even about half of the things in your head are not you. And so, yes, exactly, Elaine. Elaine said it's your own internal dialogue which makes it difficult. Yep, exactly. So you need to practice. You need to call in your guides every day after doing your protection and grounding. And then after you do that, you call them in and just say, hey guys, can you do something that'll get my attention? Can you just, I don't know, tickle my nose or something? Mess with my hair. That's a big one. Like whenever I feel somebody doing this to me, that's how I know it's my guides. But they have actually done other stuff. They'll poke me in the cheek. They'll tap me on the forehead like this. I even felt them, literally, it felt like somebody took a finger and just dragged it across my forehead. And I was like, whoa. So that's why I say sometimes you'll notice that your touch activates far earlier than your hearing and your sight. So like I said, it's the one thing that bothers me when I go out in public now is earthbounds touching me because I can feel them touching me because they do. Earthbounds get very touchy-feely, very touchy-feely. In fact, some of them even yeah, they like try to hug you and poke you and touch you and stuff when you're out in public. And now I can feel that. I'm much more sensitive than I used to be for that. So whenever an earthbound touches me, I get full body goosebumps. So whenever I'm out in public, I'm like, get away. So this is why I say, like, you'd be surprised how much you are sensitive to things, but you aren't realizing what you're being sensitive to. And so you gaslight yourself. Donna says, on a great note, had another healing with Aaron and Ramara. Amazing. Oh, that's lovely. And you guys are talking about Adriana, huh? Kara says, Jordan, I highly recommend her. She and Zach are very helpful. Yes, if you guys are looking for an Akashic Records reading or a chat with your soul guides or any form of starseed support, I highly recommend Adriana's sessions. She is phenomenal. She's changed my life with her sessions. Like she really has, just for the record. I don't think she's here right now. She's probably in a session as we're talking about her. She might come on on our chat later on. She did actually message me just before we began saying that she may join us on a star later. But yeah, she's been very busy. I love that you guys are keeping her busy now because she's got a lot of star seeds to assist down here. You guys are keeping Zach very busy as well, which makes me happy. Keep Zach all the busies. So the Salations are very eager to be of assistance, and we are so grateful for them. Like they're the best. And well, Bradley, I know your life has changed. That goes without saying. Michelle says, I imagine Adriana is very busy. Yeah, I think she had 4 sessions yesterday. You guys are keeping her very busy. But it's good. I'm telling you, every person I've sent to her has come back to me going, damn, Laura, she's amazing. I'm like, I told you. Kara says, absolutely has changed my life. She has helped me and my family so much. It has been life-changing. Love it. Aaron says, I had a dream and Zach came in at the end, I believe, in where I was. You're getting some backup, huh, Aaron? Always remember, even in your dreams, you can call in for backup. Just because you're in a dream doesn't mean you're not actually technically somewhere that you could be assisted. So always call in your guides, especially in your dream state if you feel you need them. Jordan says, y'all, I've been waking up with what looks like paw prints or some kind of animal print on my arms. I took a picture, not sure what to think of it, but it's definitely not normal. Whenever you wake up with marks on your body, okay? Whenever you wake up and those marks were not there before you went to sleep, and then you wake up and there were marks there then, there is something might be messing with you. Or you could be getting yourself into, well, some complicated scenarios when you're astral projecting. Jordan, you astral project all the time. I remember this from your clearing. So you need to be aware every night before bed that you need to be grounded and protected. Do you have anything like rose quartz or anything next to your bed? Everyone should have rose quartz or some kind of selenite next to their bed to keep the vibe high. Um, can you share her website, please? Yes. You talking about Adriana? Adriana Garay. She's gonna be like, what is going on here? There's gonna be a whole bunch of bookings. She's gonna know we're talking about her. She'll be on a chat with somebody, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 bing. There you go. AdrianaGaray.com. If you guys would love to have an Akashic Records reading, she is just mwah, chef's kiss. She's amazing. Chantal says, please give me ideas of general questions to ask Zach. Well, Zach is best for galactic questions. If there's questions that you would like to know about your galactic history, about any of the ETs that exist out there, because I know a lot of you have certain questions about different races that you've come across in your dream state. Some of them are very obscure, less known races. So for those of you starseeds that are more from a rare type of, because keep in mind, there are thousands of different types of starseeds that come here. There's obviously more like Pleiadians and Arcturians and Andromedans and Sirians more than anything else. Yes, but there's a lot of others that come here too that are much more obscure, kind of like the Blue Avians, etc., who are... They probably, a lot of the times, like I had a friend of mine who doesn't really resonate with a lot of the other starseed stuff, and then we found out that he's actually Lyrian. So he's what they call he's an original human technically. He's one of our original ancestors, like straight up came from like Avalon and Lyra. And so when I asked, I was like, so technically, does he have more than one starseed origin? And they're like, yeah, technically he's all of them. I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense then. Because technically, if you're going to start with kind of like a Lyrian DNA vibe and then work your way through all of the different types of humanoid races that exist, then yeah, you have a mix of different starseed characteristics. You're not just going to be, resonating only with Pleiadians or only with Arcturians or only with Andromedans, because you're going to have lineage that is linked to multiple different places. So this is why I say, like, if you feel that you have confusion about where you might be from, that is one way that you can definitely alleviate that confusion, because she can go through your whole record going back to long before you even came to Earth. Even if you're an Earth seed, she can go back to before she went to Earth. She did that for Aaron. Because Aaron and I and Adriana had a chat, and Aaron is a very powerful Earth seed, like straight up has been here since the dawn of Earth itself. And yet, even then, she did come from somewhere else, because we all came from somewhere else. It's just depending on how far back you go. So, rose quartz question. I don't have rose quartz. I have lavender rose quartz. It's more purplish. Will it still work? Ooh, yeah. Where are you getting those fancy crystals from, Charisse? I want a lavender rose quartz. Very nice. Leanne says, I have one of Michelle's house pyramids by my bed. It has helped me to sleep so much better. I am not surprised. Yes, organite is one of the best things you can have next to your bed. Glenn says, last week we were praying and I couldn't stop thinking about a person in my family. Some people have depression and mood issues. I saw that person and an entity came out of her shoulder saying that it feeds off of drama, sadness, and suffering. That is very true. They do. I exposed it of my home while praying. In the next few days, I got sick and a stomach infection. Yeah, that is... I don't think that's a coincidence. A lot of psychic attacks. The thing is, right, you guys, when you're trying to deal with an entity, yeah, many of us can deal with the lower ranking entities, like the earthbounds, and well, I guess it depends on the earthbound, I guess, because there's a broad spectrum when it comes to earthbounds as well. Poltergeists even give the guides a hard time. It's quite funny. So whenever there's a poltergeist, the guides are like, oh no. And that's an earthbound technically. But whenever you have an entity, it could be anything from something that was created yesterday to something that was created thousands of years ago. You have no idea what it is. So the problem is that when you try and remove it yourself, sometimes they can get pissed off at you. And yeah, if you have stomach issues, that is a huge sign of psychic attack, especially if it came out of nowhere. Headaches, stomach issues, because it's affecting your energy centers, right? So even if it's attacking your chakra, you're going to feel it in your stomach. So yeah, I honestly, Glenn, I would book a clearing. Call in Archangel Michael, see if you feel any better after that, and if you don't feel any better after that, if you don't notice any shift in the energies, then yeah, I would book a clearing. For those of you, like I said, you can always call in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is his job, is to come here and remove entities. So this is one of the reasons why I'm always talking about him. So if you guys feel that you need backup in the astral and don't even know who your guides are, you can always call upon him. But just keep in mind that sometimes entity attachments can be so it's almost like they put you in like an energetic quarantine. It's like a jar effect. You ever put like like a lightning bug in a jar? You know what I'm talking about. You just feel very like isolated. That way it cuts you off energetically, and then you have to get somebody else to come and clear you. Because yeah, the self clearings won't work if you're energetically cut off from your guides. Maria says, I have 2 huge selenite lamps on either side of my bed. Happy to know I subconsciously put them there purposely. Yep. Selenite lamps and Himalayan salt lamps are really good for next to the bed. I have a Himalayan salt nightlight that I keep in Aiden's room next to his bed. And it's cute. It actually changes like colors and stuff in there for him. Kara says, I want to start selling crystals in my office in the near future. Nice one, Kara. You totally should. Crystals will help to raise the vibration of any building or office. I have a friend of mine who is a store manager at a Dollar Tree, and you will not believe how often I have to clear her store. Like, you won't believe the amount of entities that go into Dollar Tree. It's unbelievable. So I've told her, I'm like, what are we going to do about this situation? Because you literally do have a revolving door of demonic entities coming into your store on a daily basis. So she's like, I don't know what to do. So I literally have her sprinkling salt out in front of the door every morning. She's out there sprinkling sea salt in front of her store every morning, you know, doing the sage spritzer and things like that, putting crystals around her store. Like, you do what you got to do, you guys. Because if you notice that there's a lot of bad moods coming into your business, there might be a reason for that. So, Glenn says, thanks, Laura. I learned a lot from you. It's a pleasure, Glenn. Yes, I felt it was like an attack. I would love to have a session with you, but my native language is Spanish. Well, when we do clearings, it doesn't matter what language you speak because the soul guides speak your language anyway. The soul guides speak all languages technically through telepathy. So even if, you know, we don't speak the same language, we can still assist each other. Jessica says, demons love deals. Don't they, though? Hi, Grant. It's nice to see you. Are you feeling any better? Yeah, that was crazy. Did you get an RFID wallet yet? Yeah, Grant had a tracking device in his wallet. I'm like, how the hell did it get into his wallet? They're like AI off of the chip in his card. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? That was crazy, Grant, that you had that in your wallet. So yeah, you guys, that was another thing I learned, that you might want to get RFID chips for your phones and your wallets, because those RFID, they you know how like your bank cards, they have chips in them and stuff. Well, apparently there was AI attached to that, which caused a tracking device to form literally inside somebody's wallet. So make sure that you guys are keeping an eye on everything electronic, even your bank cards, which is crazy. So just keep in mind that you never know where technology is going to pop up. Jordan says, my husband got me an opal bracelet for Christmas. That's my birthday stone and my first opals. Lovely. Wonderful, Jordan. And also a big happy birthday to Jody today. I saw it's Jody's birthday. Sending you lots of love, Jody. Heaps better. Thanks. Getting RFID ordered this week. Nice one, Grant. Well done. How does the AI get attached to that? Because technically when you scan your card, when you put your card into the machine, it attaches to the chip inside the card. Because anything connected to the internet, not even the internet, anything that has an energetic current running through it can open portals very easily. So Amma says, how do we check that our organites actually work? Yeah, you need an EMF detector. Yep. As Michelle says. Michelle is so smart. Yep, that's exactly it. You need an EMF detector. There's YouTube videos on this. If you type in Organite EMF detector, you'll see how they use it. So there's lots of cool ways to be making sure that your Organite is doing what it's supposed to. And not only your Organite, it also validate whether or not your Shungite is doing its trick too. Because what's interesting is I did see a video not too long ago where somebody was showing the power of Shungite actually blocking the EMF from somebody's phone. Um, Jordan says, I have black tourmaline in the four corners of my bed, Organite tower busters at the four corners of my bed, and in every corner and room of the house. Jordan is not messing around, are you, Jordan? Just make sure that you guys are cleansing your black crystals very often, because there's a really cool photo I saw not too long ago where they took Kirlian photography. For those of you who don't know what Kirlian photography is, it's basically like the photography of energy within objects, right? And somebody took a picture. Let's see if I can show you what selenite looks like under Kirlian photography. It looks so freaking cool. So selenite emits energy, right? It raises the vibration of the space. Kirlian photography. So selenite under Kirlian photography. Oh, come on. Where is it? I can't find it now. Come on. Selenite crystals. This is what I'm talking about. Technology is being really weird the last few days. Anybody notice how much it's lagging here? Jeez. So why can't I find the image I'm looking for? So it kind of, all right, so I'll just give you a different example. This is a quartz under Kirlian photography. But as you can see, sorry about the angle there, there's a lot of energy that gets emitted from crystals, right? But if you were to put a tourmaline or a what was it, black tourmaline? So if you put it under Kirlian photography, it actually absorbs light. Why can't I find? Damn, I'm sorry. I will look for it today and I'll post it on the wall if I can find it. But to show you the two, like when you put it under Kirlian photography, it glows like crazy. It lights up like you wouldn't believe, and there's all kinds of energy coming off of it. You can literally see the energy kind of vibrating off of the crystal. But when you put a black onyx or a tourmaline or some kind of obsidian in front of the Kirlian photography, you'll notice it's actually absorbing light. It's pitch black. It actually looks darker in the photography than it does when you're just looking at the crystal. So the reason for that is because you can actually tell one is absorbing and one is blocking. So that is what you want. You want the high vibeness of the selenite. This is one of the reasons why selenite is so effective for things like, cutting cords. You just take the selenite. You can, a lot of times you have cords over your throat. You have cords over your crown. Sometimes you even have cords in your hair. So you want to cut the cords with the selenite. You can visualize the cords cutting like that as you take the selenite down through your chakras, right? But then you can also take something like, well, here, I guess this one's a bit overkill because it's so big. So this is the one I keep next to my router for obvious reasons. You have big guys like this. This really helps when you're trying to deal with something big and annoying like your router. Wi-Fi routers are the worst things in your house for residual energies and entities and portals and all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, this is why we are always saying turn off your routers at night, every night. So whenever you have something like a black crystal like this, you can do it the same way. You take it and you bring it around your whole body. You can use it just as you would a normal wand. And this will help to clear dark patches from your body. So if you notice, like you've been doing something like exchanging money all day and your hands will start to hurt, right? If you're exchanging money all day, all that weird juju from the money is going over your hands. So you can take these and it will absorb negative energy that is attached to you. So you literally just wipe it over you. You can have it just in your etheric. But the problem is, right? Where did it go? It went on here. So that energy that you wanted to get rid of from your physical body is now attached to the crystal. So the best thing you can do then, obviously, is to smudge it. So you can put it inside a selenite. So if you have selenite, you can actually cleanse negative energy from black crystals with selenite. The selenite will also do that. And you don't have to recharge selenite, which is one of the nicest things about it. But the issues with these black crystals is that they work extremely well until they don't work anymore, until they go dead, so to speak. So you just do one of these. Just rotate it a few times, smudging it clearly like this. Just making sure that you're getting all the sides of it. Set intention whenever you do this. You just watch it. You can also run it underwater. Certain crystals should not be run underwater, obviously. There's selenite is one of them, so don't run selenite underwater. But as far as I'm aware, all the black crystals, I can't think of a single black crystal that can't really go in water. In fact, shungite is great in water. So for those of you who are looking to, it's really heavy, my God. So like I said, you want to make sure those are cleansed about depending on how badly the area is. Like being next to a router, I cleanse it every 3 days. Jennifer says I use tuning forks. Yes, Jennifer, that works as well. You can use tuning forks. You can use a little singing bowl. I have another piece here that I keep. So you get the router. Oh my God, so heavy. So I also have a piece of rose quartz for the same reason. You just keep the rose quartz down there, and then you smudge it like this. In fact, Constantine told me yesterday, he goes, your rose quartz needs a charge. So yeah, you cleanse it like this, right? But then you still need to recharge it. So one of the things you can do, what I like to do, is to have selenite bowls around. So you keep a big selenite bowl like this one. And then you just obviously lay it like this over that. And you can recharge it like that. You can also keep it in the sun as well. But there's all kinds of things that you can charge in these bowls. In fact, I even have my little vape things in there. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can charge in there, just for the record. So I usually put jewelry in those too. If you have one of those next to the bed, you can put your jewelry in there and make sure that your jewelry is recharging every night before bed. So, remember that if you were to create a grid around your house, like Jordan was just talking about, it's a really good idea. So if you were to place rose quartz in the 4 corners of your house, so rose quartz, 4 corners, north, south, east, and west is usually the best. And then you place one of those larger pieces of obsidian or something in the middle. So that is one of the ways. It's kind of like turning your house into a crystal grid. Yep, and you can also put them in soil. Thank you, Megan. Yeah, you can put them back in the dirt. Dirt will also charge them. So you can put them in your plant pots. Do not put them in the moonlight. I know a lot of people say that, but just don't. You don't want to put bad juju on your crystals. Avoid moonlight. I mean, some of you obviously are more attuned to moon energies than others, and that's fine. But there are going to be a lot of people who are actually negatively affected by moon energy because that's matrix energy. So you are imbuing your crystals with matrix energy every time you leave them out in the moonlight, just for the record. So put them in the sun. Just don't leave them in the sun. You do not want to keep your crystals in the sun for a really long time. And you don't want to keep your organite in the sun either, by the way. Organite will fade in the sun. So I know it looks really nice in the window, but after a couple of years, your organite will turn yellow and it will look cloudy because the resin will start to degrade. My friend I was talking with you guys last year about my friend Gerda and how she's got this she made an organite out of a trash can. I'm not even kidding. It cost them $10,000 worth of materials. Like, no joke. Okay. The biggest organite I've ever seen in my life. It was like this big with resin, and it had all kinds of, it had everything from gold to platinum and silver in it. And it had every kind of crystal you can imagine in there. It had giant thick copper coil going all the way through it. And then it had a big, huge tube coming out of it, right? She left it in her garden. And when I went back to go and see it, it's the first time I'd been back in nearly 10 years, back to Rennes-le-Château in France. And I was looking for it. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I went running around the garden looking for the organite. and it was destroyed. It was falling apart. It was actually like the resin had started to, because the sun destroyed it. So $10,000 piece of organite destroyed by the sun. So just keep that in mind, you guys. The more you spend a large amount of money on fancy organites, the longer you have them in the sun, the quicker they tend to fall apart. So, and also there's other crystals too. Like if you were to put amethyst in the sun, it starts to lose its color. So, I always used to use the ocean and the full moon made moon water. Yeah, I used to do moon water as well. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. I didn't know until after I talked to my soul guides, and they're like, no, don't do that. I was like, is this really a thing? Yeah, that's really a thing. Don't do that. Jessica says, my wedding ring goes in my selenite bowl every night. Good idea. Kara says, I have an obsidian tower, rose quartz tower, and a labradorite tower at the foot of my bed with a big selenite bar in front of them to keep them cleansed. I also have one of Michelle's organite pyramids next to them. Nice one, Kara. She's not messing around either today. I love that you've got all of these crystals around you guys while they're sleeping, because that's one of the best things you could do to protect yourself, eh? Just saying, crystals are really important for sleep because that's your most vulnerable time. So funnily enough, we wear our bling out in public because we think we are most susceptible to attachments in public. But no, you'd be surprised what some of you are doing when you're sleeping. Just kind of wandering around shady areas, not realizing. Ariana says, you know, my rose quartz bracelets and necklace have all broken on while wearing them. You know, I have made bracelets out of fishing line before for that reason. Because I'm wearing some of the bracelets from Michelle right now. See, those pink ones are from Michelle. And these bracelets are lovely. They're nice and stretchy. But after a while, yeah, they do. After years of wearing them, they do tend to fray and fall apart. And when that happens, I just remake them with fishing wire because I don't give a shit. Fishing line works well. Just make sure you're not making it too tight. I have a 6-pound rose quartz sphere next to my bed. Wow, Michelle. See, very nice. Pentagram between the mattress and the base. Yes, Charisse. Charisse has also been listening. Yes, pentagrams can go anywhere in your house for protection. I know a lot of you associate them with witchcraft, but that's why, is witches needed that shit for protection. So this is why pentagrams are often associated with witchcraft, is because the witches know they are very powerful symbols of protection. And so they are, ironically, in many cases, people kind of think of them as bad juju, but no, they're the opposite. So anytime that you put any, and I honestly, like, one of the best things you can do is to just put them on your electronics. Where's my little stickers? I have a bunch of little stickers that have vanished. I had them just here earlier. But these little stickers are little pentagrams, and you put them around on things. You can put them on your phone, put them on your router, put them on whatever. And they do tend to help. But if you can even just draw them with chalk, just draw a pentagram, put one underneath your mat and your welcome mat at the door. Put them under your bed. Put them anywhere. I know pentagrams are for protection, but do people use them bad? Well, they do the opposite sometimes. The Satanists, which ironically, you know, there's a really funny post I saw yesterday where there were a bunch of people arguing about what do you call people that believe in Satan? And the most common answer and the post really had me chuckling, because a lot of people were saying, well, obviously Satanists, right? Satanists are the ones that believe in Satan. No, technically they don't. The only reason I know this is I made the mistake of dating a Satanist when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And he gave me a hell of a course on all of these things. And sure enough, he told me, he goes, no, they don't actually believe in a literal Satan at all. They don't. They do believe in demonic entities, yes, but that is entirely different. And yeah, they, in most cases, it's just the Christians that believe in those things. So yeah, all of those satanic symbols and stuff, yeah, they can be corrupted. You can put intention into anything, really. But this is one of the reasons why they like to try and corrupt symbols. Like, a lot of you are well aware, like the swastika, for example, is one of the oldest symbols on Earth. I mean, it was used by the Hopi tribe. It was used in India. I mean, it's literally found all over the planet in different capacities. And just because one asshole took that symbol and then bastardized it and then switched the meaning around, they tarnished that symbol forever. You know, like it has now become a symbol of hatred when it was originally created to be the exact opposite. It was originally actually a symbol of very good luck and fortune, which is why the fuckers used it. Because they wanted to kind of take that luck and switch it around and use it for themselves. What about the Eye of Horus? Well, anything, like I said, it's all about intention. So the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus. I have Ra I'm wearing right now, technically. And the reason for that is because I'm getting into this recently. So I've been reading quite a bit. I'm really, really enjoying the Ra material. So for those of you who haven't gotten it yet, make sure that you get this, because Ra is actually a real being. And we've been connecting with him energetically a bit recently, which is why I've been wearing his symbol. So it's just to honor the fact that we feel so grateful for his help and everything that he's been doing. So the symbols that you wear, yeah, they all have power behind them. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I got the tattoo I got. In fact, I think I've showed you guys this before, right? I have a Triskelion tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my Triskelion tattoo is actually protection from black magic, funnily enough. So all of these different symbols, they have certain gifts that they bring with them. But you know what else is interesting, right? So the other day, I was doing a clearing, right? And we found a black lotus in somebody's house, hidden. And I was like, a black lotus? And the guides were like, yeah, it's a symbol of something from her shadow past. And I was like, so is it negative? They're like, yeah, we're going to clear it. And I was like, so does that mean all black lotuses are bad? Because here I am, as they're telling me there's a black lotus they have to remove from somebody's house. I'm sitting here like looking at mine that I made, and I'm like, what, did I do something bad? And the guys are like, no, just because something is in color does not mean that something is bad. In fact, what you made is actually really, really good. But the intention of whoever put the black lotus in her etheric was not good. And therefore, that was why that one was bad. And I was like, so mine is good and that one's bad. And they're like, yeah, it's all about intention. So I was like, oh, okay. Good to know. So no, colors do not make something bad. It's about the intention of the color that has been put there. So Ariana says, can you tell us about Ra? Not really. Not right now. It's a long story. One, it's because I don't want to call him in. I probably already did just by saying his name twice. So that was another thing. I don't want to bother him. We'll put it that way. But another thing is he's been helping with some of the most difficult cases we've been doing. Because there are times where you are dealing with things that are much more formidable than we realize. In fact, Ra is more powerful than the archangels. So if the archangels can't deal with something, they call him. As I told you guys, there's a hierarchy in everything. There's an energetic hierarchy in all things. And there are things that even above the angels. And he is one of those things. I shouldn't even say above, because everything is technically, it's all source. It's just there's a vibrational hierarchy. It's like the higher vibration you go. And I just heard some really weird creaking above my head. That's interesting. So, so yeah, you just never know which level you're going to have to call in, considering how formidable some of these entities can be. So, any other questions before I switch over to Astara in a minute? You can find videos and podcasts on Spotify and YouTube about him. Yes, there's all kinds of information. In fact, we can probably even talk to Zach about this. Zach will be coming on the podcast in a couple weeks. And if you guys want, that could be one of the questions about him. For those of you who would like to learn more, I just don't want to put anybody's words in anybody else's mouth right now. I have to be very careful who you name drop, you guys, especially when you have a lot of attention on you. You really do. You start to notice that they hear you. So always be careful who you name drop. I don't even like to say the names of like Greek gods anymore, like Zeus, because you just never know. You just never know who's listening and who is aware that you're talking about them. So anyway, yes, it is 11. I'm going to switch over to Astara. For those of you who would like to join us for some private chats, I'll also talk a bit more about the spirit release plannings that we're doing. We got all kinds of things that are in the works. So for those of you who are interested, I would love to see you on Astara just now when I switch over. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's wonderful to see you guys. I love you all so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. And for those of you who are unable to join today, who's on the podcast tomorrow? Is it Tammy? Is tomorrow Tammy? Yes, it is. Tammy Lepresti is on the podcast for tomorrow. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll get to discuss some numerology and find out what the world has in store for us for this new year upon us. Bradley says you can say Thor all you want. Thor, Thor, Thor. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Take care. Bye, guys.